Welcome to From the Front Line with Ed Kelley. We are here today on the podcast talking about something even broader than some of the global health topics we normally talk about, which is the agenda around One Health and the intersection of the human and animal health and the role that that's going to have in the future of big issues like antimicrobial resistance, vaccine development, and epidemics. We have a partner who has joined us here today, someone that we have been working with now for almost a year and has lots of experience in this arena, more than myself. I am joined by Carlos Fàbrega. Carlos, if you just wouldn't mind first introducing yourself and your role at HIPRA.
Well, thank you, Ed. My name is Carlos Fàbrega. I'm currently the Managing Director of the Human Health Division at HIPRA. HIPRA is a Spanish pharma company. We've been in the animal health industry for more than 50 years. And in 2020, when the COVID pandemic started, we created our human health division. So since then, I'm in charge of this new division of the company. And yes, I'm very, very comfortable under this One Health umbrella.
Thanks, Carlos. Maybe you could just say a word about what quote unquote One Health means to you and your company and why it's important in policy around global health.
Well, yeah, when I think about One Health, I think about this interconnection between human health, animal health, and also environmental health, right? And I think that the pandemic brought it, more into the table, and I think it's been a good example on how important it is when we think about health to think about health from these three perspectives. And when we are thinking on implementing a One Health approach in policy development, it is necessary to integrate these three areas in the discussion and in its legal frameworks. So we believe from HIPRA that policymakers should listen to stakeholders from different areas, including human health, animal health, and environmental science, agriculture. And policies should consider how health is interconnected again across all these segments. Otherwise, if we forget any of these three segments, we won't have the global and integral and holistic view of global health.
I understand it, being someone who worked in global health for a long time, about how we used to talk about it at WHO and in different forum and at the World Health Assembly. But can you describe One Health? How does that look in the pharma world? How can the idea of caring about a One Health approach be incorporated into actually the business of pharmaceutical and vaccine manufacturing and not really just be sort of a slogan that people at global health institutions like to use? What are your thoughts on that?
I can talk much about what other pharmaceuticals could do or should do. What I can tell you is how we see this One Health approach in HIPRA, and which is our vision around this. I can tell you that prevention is part of our DNA as a company. And when we think about prevention, we think not only in vaccines, but in many other services around vaccination. And again, from a more holistic perspective, including human health and animal health. I can tell you, for example, how important for us is the diagnostics and the surveillance. That's why we have 11 diagnostic labs spread all over the world that help us understand how pathogens behave and how pathogens are moving around. And I think that for many reasons, there are more and more threats that can affect the health of humans and the health of animals. And having these surveillance systems, makes us feel that we are more ready to tackle them, And so we see this diagnostic as a very powerful source for us in order to develop the appropriate vaccines, as a tools to control this infectious disease all over the world. In our animal health division, we have developed unique vaccines that are at some point the only alternative to the usage of antibiotics to control some particular diseases in animal production. And we are convinced that by doing this, we are at the same time contributing to the reduction of these antimicrobial resistances. So this has been part of our vision in animal health, and we are now replicating this in human health. We feel very comfortable, and I am convinced that we can take advantage of the know-how that we have generated more than 50 years in the animal health ecosystem, and now we can bring this into the human health. And again, I think that COVID is just one example on how important this can be, and how this could be replicated in the near future. So we are under a risk, and the more we interact between human health experts and animal health experts, the better prepared we'll be to tackle these threats in the future.
I could not agree more. I've always thought it was so surprising that at the World Health Organization, where I work, we had, during my time there, maybe one veterinary doctor on the staff. We had thousands of human medical doctors, thousands of nurses, thousands of PhDs. Only one vet. You would think that there would be more transition between those types of professions, but there really is not. It's certainly both in the public health world, and I guess there's not so many examples of companies like HIPRA that have really made conscious decisions around how they're going to act in this way. You told me once a story during one of the times when we were learning more about each other's organizations about HIPRA's transition to focus on vaccines, because obviously one of the biggest challenges, at least we talk about in the human health world around One Health, is the consumption of antibiotics. But obviously the consumption of antibiotics in industrial animal farming far, far outstrips what we use in medicine. Can you tell that story a little bit more about HIPRA's decision to pull out of the production of antibiotics, why you did that, and why that's an important maybe lesson for how we apply these principles of One Health in the human health world?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we took the decision to focus on prevention back in 2008, and I can tell you that we couldn't be happier with the decision that we took back then, but it was not an easy decision at all, because at the same time that we were deciding to focus in vaccines, we were at the same time saying goodbye to the antibiotics market that represented more or less 75% of the total potential market in animal health. So you can believe that it was not an easy decision at all. But again, since then, we have been focused in vaccines development and in prevention, and this is all what we do. So being focused has allowed us to complete a portfolio of 108 different vaccines. Today we are dealing with 300 different pathogens. And again, I can tell you that almost 20 years after, today we feel ready to understand how these pathogens behave, and we feel prepared to develop and to put in the market vaccines that are unique. In some cases, as I was saying, they are the only alternative to the usage of antibiotics in animal farming. And this is becoming more and more important. Luckily, we see many regions in the world with very clear decisions against the usage of antibiotics in animal farming. And again, they can be strict because there are vaccines that can be used as an alternative. Unless these vaccines were available, probably the reduction of the usage of antibiotics wouldn't be possible. Again, with all this background and know-how that we have built, we are now comfortable to jump and to go one step ahead and move into the human health ecosystem. And we feel ready to do the same that we did with coronavirus, where we took advantage of our experience of more than 30 years developing vaccines for coronaviruses for different species. And then we jumped and we brought this into vaccines for humans. So we feel ready to do the same with other pathogens that are in the list of threats of WHO and other health authorities. No? And if I can go back to what we were discussing before and the importance of the veterinarians in the decisions, I think that during the pandemics, we saw several countries that had veterinarians in their advisory groups, right? So the experience of veterinarians in dealing with epidemics, in dealing with how the pathogens move around and how they behave was very important when defining their strategies to fight against COVID, no? In some other countries, unfortunately, the opinion of the veterinarians was not considered. No? And again, when we talk about One Health, this is a very good example. No? If we count on the opinion of medical doctors, but also veterinarians, we will have a more complete picture and we will be able to take better decisions.
Yeah. And I think that particular aspect of making better decisions is really important because it's not just about, reacting to diseases that we've got in front of us. We had the example of COVID, but before that we had Ebola. We've had other, H1N1 examples where the real problem is the jump from animal to human, where we've got novel hosts, et cetera. But that also looking ahead, like you said, to where are the potential areas where we are going to see this again. It's just that we live in a world where the bumping up of animals and humans is going to only happen more and more. So obviously this is a conversation that people, sort of working in public health arenas, both on the veterinary and human side, care about. Are there ways that as companies we could try to facilitate conversations between those two worlds better to discuss common goals that in a way that would help our business, but also obviously help advance the whole One Health agenda?
Yes, absolutely. I think that making sure that we always consider both sides, creating sectorial working groups, making sure that representatives of the animal health arena and the human health arena are always invited, making sure that the information is shared between the two fields. I would say that most of the threats that we are facing are now global, no? For many aspects. Things are changing. The climate change has an impact. Also, we see pathogens circulating in Europe that we didn't see a few years ago, the same in the US. So I think that sharing international collaboration and sharing data among countries is going to be critical, and always including experts from the human health ecosystem, but also from the animal health ecosystem is going to be critical. And unless we do it, we will not be prepared. So yes, I think companies like Apiject can play a very important role in spreading the message and in making sure that the opinion of veterinarians is as important as the opinion of medical doctors.
We really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're in the midst of, it's a busy time right now, and we've got lots upcoming this season. So thanks for taking the time to talk with us on our podcast On the Front Lines. We hope to have you back soon.
It was a pleasure, and thank you. Thank you all.
For more information about these topics we've been talking about today on innovation in global health, I really encourage listeners to check out the websites to some of the organizations we've talked about, and we hope that this discussion was beneficial to you. To learn more about From the Frontline with Ed Kelley, please visit our website at apiject.com. This podcast is a product of Apiject Systems.
As always, thanks for listening to From the Frontline with Ed Kelley. From the Frontline is produced by Kate Scott with lead writer Charlotte Mackay.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the podcast belong solely to the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views, thoughts, and opinions of the host, sponsor, speaker's employer, or any other organisation or individual mentioned.